That would have been awesome. Almost had it. Oh, it was perfect. So we are going to Europe. We are leaving tomorrow and we're gonna be gone for 2 weeks. And this little guy right here just caused a huge problem for me because it is the start of nesting season here at Garden State Tortoise. And one of these little southern French Western Hermits tortoise females was digging a fine nest, totally undisturbed. But because it is also breeding season and a peak in male activity, this guy got to her before I did and he grabbed her and pulled her off the nest. When in fact your job was already done. So thank you. I'm already stressed out. Today we're gonna go around this place. We're gonna feed, we're gonna clean, and the whole time I'm gonna freak out. Oh, it was perfect. There it is, a near perfectly dug nest, and she got too upset because of his advances and she moved on. If we get lucky, maybe she'll come back to it later today. Nesting season really should be renamed to anxiety season for both tortoise and keeper. It's a very sensitive time. Now the tortoises, remember, they're wild at heart even when they're born into captivity, so they never lose that instinct that they have to be very secretive and even cryptic when they lay their eggs and dig those nests. Now it might be surprising to some of you because you'll see certain tortoise species kind of nest out in the open, but the reason is because they still need that sunlight. They need the sunlight to penetrate the earth to warm the eggs during the incubation process, otherwise the embryos will never develop. But it's a very, very vulnerable time for them as far as predators go. Birds and other animals can see them. So even in a captive management situation, they still feel like that. So she's sitting there in the sunlight thinking, okay, it's go time. I got to get these eggs out of me and into the ground safely when things are happening around her. So you'll notice when a tortoise is nesting that they're kind of doing this. They're looking around. They eventually go into a trance during oviposition when they're basically going into contractions and the eggs are coming out of them. And at that point, they cannot be disturbed. But before that is really the most sensitive time, and that male ruined it. He came over, he grabbed her by the leg because he wanted to breed her. He doesn't know what she's doing, and it spooked her enough to come off the nest. Now I'm hoping to get some nests before we leave tomorrow. Of course, there's going to be a whole network of people here taking care of these animals for us, but nothing is quite like yourself being here with the animals, especially after you've gotten to know them for so many years. So off to a rocky start. She may not even go back to trying to nest today, but hopefully everybody who's helping us out will catch the nest maybe tomorrow or the day after. Well, the best thing for me to do right now is to leave her alone so she gets over her fear and will hopefully come back out and nest. So let's go check on the pancake tortoises because they've only been outside for a little while since we finished their new enclosure. Some basking. Oh, and the Eurymastix is out too. You're gonna wanna focus right on that Eurymastix because he's probably gonna run for it as soon as I open this thing. Well, there he goes. They're looking awesome. Catching the early rays today. There's one out grazing right here on that clover patch that I left for them. That's exactly what I wanted to see them do. He's got one hanging out of his mouth. And the rocks are already warm. So what they do is they spend a lot of their time in those crevices, jammed in there, safe and sound. And then as soon as the sun comes out and starts warming up those rocks, they come out and bask. And there's still a lot of them that have to wake up for the day, but I'm happy with what I see. This one is just living the life. She's stretched out, she's passed out still. And the Eurymastix that lives in here with them is the same Eurymastix that you guys have seen in other videos that shares the indoor enclosure with them. Eurymastix really work well with certain species of tortoise. They have the exact same diet, basically the same habits, and they just live together in perfect harmony. So this is like his little band of pancake tortoises in here, and I'm happy to see he's doing well. That's really cool. All right, time for a little excitement. I've thought out some food items for the Blandings turtles, which usually give us a very good feeding response, so come on. So one of the things I like to do before leaving for any trip, even though these animals are going to be fully cared for and there will be somebody here every single day, I like to load them up with food. I like to see everybody eat, make sure everybody's okay. It gives me peace of mind, and then I know that there's no problems. So I've thought out some shrimp, but I've also thought out some day-old quail that were produced by Blake over at Blake's Exotic Animal Ranch. He has a side business called Blake's Exotic Feeders, and he produces excellent quality stuff to feed all types of reptiles, and that is very crucial, especially for these carnivorous species like Blanding's turtles. You can't just give them pellets all the time. You can't just give them shrimp all the time. When they get something like quail, they're getting everything, which is a good source of calcium and other nutritional factors. And here's one right now. Let's see if she'll take this. Come on, girl. Come on. There we go, she's got that. And they could swallow those things whole because Blanding's turtles, they don't tear apart their food usually as much as other species do. If it's something really big, they'll of course use their claws to help themselves, but they use suction feeding just like the Mata turtle does, and in one shot, they'll take something down, and you'll be surprised at how big of a food item they can get down in one shot like that. So they're all still warming up for the day. Sun is really just coming out, but Blanding's turtles are a Great Lakes region turtle, which means they're used to very cold temperatures, and we really don't even match that here. Pretty soon the whole group will probably be coming out. There's quite a few of them in here. That looks like this one wants the rest of her shrimp for now. Okay, now let's go feed something even more impressive. This is cool. I don't know if you guys remember this beautiful little turtle, but we adopted her from the Jenkinson's Aquarium, and this is Divot. She's a little female alligator snapping turtle that suffers from something called lordorsis, where she has that dip in her back, and she also has a pigtail. It's interesting to see her out right now. I'm trying to see if I can get her interested in this catfish. Come on, come on. There you go. Wow, look at that. Look at the power that animal has, even at that small size. So you can see she's just a fraction of the size of what she'll be as an adult, but we're gonna try to lure out Ellen and Chief Brody, the adult alligator snapping turtles, because I really want to give them a nice fat meal of catfish since we are leaving. Here he comes. Here he comes. That's my boy. Come on. Go on. All right. So Brody is pretty much fully recovered now. You guys know his story and how he came into our lives, and he's been living in this aquascape ecosystem since the end of winter, and it's just the perfect environment for him. Now, you know, if I had it my way, I would be giving him the whole catfish, because just like we did with feeding the Blanding's turtles, getting the entire animal is far more beneficial than just a cleaned fillet. But it's okay. He gets plenty of wholesome food items to begin with, and I'm just making sure that I get a good feeding in him before I go. And ultimately, I just want to see his reactions and his health, and he just looks great. He really looks awesome. He's got a wonderful feeding response. His head muscles are looking fantastic. No more deflation going on whatsoever. And just a true success story. Ellen over there seems to be hiding. I gotta see if I can get her attention next. Come on, Brody, you want another? Come on. He's so gentle for such a huge animal. Here comes Ellen, Brody's girlfriend. Yeah, girl. All right. So alligator snapping turtles actually hunt at night mostly. It's when they move up and down the river systems. But you can feed them during the day, as I'm doing right now. And this gives me a nice shot at really seeing how they look. And that's what I want to do. It's harder to see them fully at night, even with a headlamp. But they're great. They're just, again, just a happy, happy, happy ending for these turtles, especially Chief Brody here. And I can't wait to see him when I get back. They, of course, don't need to be fed much while we're gone. This species is notoriously overfed in captivity, and that is not good. And they're often fed the wrong things, too. So there we go, Brody. That's one more for you. See ya when we get back. Okay, we got a lot more feeding to do. right, well, while we're at the aquascape ecosystem, it's not just aquatic turtles that have to be fed. We've got terrestrial turtles living on the land portions of this huge enclosure. So we went out and we bought like all the strawberries we could find. It's a nice little treat for them. Strawberries, like I've said before, berries in general are going to be a better option than a lot of other fruits. And box turtles, which is what we're going to be feeding in here, absolutely love them, and they do eat them in nature. So in here we have Chinese box turtles and Florida box turtles. We keep them together because they don't cross, and they are both very bold species that get along just fine and also stay out of each other's way at times. So let's load them up. North American wood turtles and eastern box turtles, minus Otis, they will all be getting nice helping of strawberries here. Some of them are already waiting. This is a common spot that I throw them, and they know. Here's Big Blue. Next up, we got Mexican box turtles. Not quite warm enough for them yet today, but there is a male out right here. Here you go, pal. Yucatan box turtles, another Mexican species that's probably not warmed up yet, and if you look out here, there really is nobody to see, so we'll let them have fun. What you could do is throw the fruit or food items out into the enclosure and let the animals search for it themselves, because nobody hands it to them in nature. It's good to make sure they're exercising those natural instincts and finding food on their own, and not always just having it handed to them. And then you could come walk around later on after it's been a little bit and see who found food. Back at the Blandings pond here, we've got three-toed box turtles that use both a little bit of the water area, but mostly the land area. So get them some strawberries too. And they don't have to worry about fighting the Blandings or the painted turtles for them. Got a lot of Greeks out. Savannah and Tembo are giant South African leopard tortoises. They just came out for the day. They're basking out over there looking absolutely incredible. But what I'm gonna do is spend a little quality time with my iguanas. Come on, guys. Hungry? Look what I got. Come on up, come on up. Oh, jeez. Here's my leg. Come on, got your favorite. Oh, come on. I just spilt them all. Where are you? Come on. All right, I'll come down here on your level. There we go. Enjoy. Rocky and Blue, the rhinoceros iguanas. Sometimes they just like to come out here and sit with them. They're such intelligent animals. One of my absolute favorites here. Strawberries are one of their favorite foods, right, Blue? Yeah, go ahead. Brought you a whole package. The most of the time they're getting things like hibiscus flowers and leaves, broadleaf greens, stuff like that. But since I'm going to be without them for a little while, I thought, why not give them a nice treat, right? Come on, Blue. Eat up. I guess we are not interested in eating today. We'd rather get some scritches. Another reason why I love these lizards. The human interaction that they crave is awesome. All right, you guys, I gotta move on. Last video, we opened up this pen right here for our sulcata tortoises to come out and graze into, and they're both in here. Here's Morby the male, Dixie the female is back there. You can see the pathways that they're creating, and they're just gonna eat this stuff all the way to the ground, which is exactly what I want them to do. And I don't need to do anything for them before we leave, because this will definitely last them a good 2 weeks. Just like the sulcata pen, all the tortoises that live in here, the Galapagos, the radiateds, the Aldabra, they've got plenty of natural graze here. They also let themselves in and out of the building on cooler nights or cooler days. They can go in there to heat up under the heat lamps and then come back out. We're gonna be turning those off soon as the heat kicks in. But they're all doing great. You can see how much work they've already done to this too. So much of the grass is down, but they've got a huge area back there to continue working on. So another species I don't really have to do anything for before I leave. That's a beautiful thing. Fantastic. Yes, total success. This female went back to nesting. She has laid her eggs, and what you're seeing her do now, which looks like a funny dance, is she is covering up the nest. Here comes another one right now to inspect the area. So this one might be the next one to nest, because these areas that are favorable are really competitive. The females are very competitive over them. So she's probably checking this out right now and saying, this might be where I want to do it. But that is awesome. Talk about peace of mind before I get to go away. Got some clutches of eggs ready to go into the incubator. The animals are fed. Everybody looks great. Cameras are in place, as well as all other security measures. Our network of team members to take care of things while we are gone are ready to go. And now Casey and I can head across the pond to Europe and have an incredible time. So stick around for a lot of footage from that.